Many of us have used an online dating app or know someone who has. Typically, we assume that the worst outcome might be an underwhelming date or lack of chemistry. After all, we've all experienced bad dates. However, what if someone goes missing after meeting someone from an app? Or worse, what if they're murdered? One of the most chilling reminders of this is the tragic case of Grace Milane, a young woman whose life was brutally cut short in an encounter that began on Tinder. In early October 2019, Grace Millane, a vibrant and adventurous 22-year-old from Essex, England, decided to embark on a year-long backpacking journey around the world. This trip held special significance because Grace was following in the footsteps of her mother, who had undertaken a similar journey during her own gap year. On the 20th of November, after spending 6 weeks in Peru with a group of backpackers and tourists, Grace traveled to New Zealand. She spent a little over a week exploring the Upper North Island before returning to Auckland on November 30th. Throughout her travels, Grace kept sharing photos with her friends and family, sharing her amazing trip experiences. They all believed she was having the time of her life. However, this was short-lived. On December 1st, a day before her 22nd birthday, Grace checked into City Life Auckland, the hotel where she would be staying for the duration of her trip. She also sent a text to her best friend, informing her that she had met someone on Tinder and was going on a date that night. Her best friend found this strange, as she was only on a short vacation and wasn't planning on sticking around, but saw no reason to be concerned about it. Throughout the night, Grace sent her best friend updates on the date, where she could. She told her that the man she met was also traveling and was also currently staying in a hotel in Auckland. In her last text message to her friend, Grace wrote, "I really clicked with him. I'll let you know what happens tomorrow." However, no one ever heard from Grace again. The following day was Grace's birthday, and her loved ones tried to reach out to her to wish her a happy birthday. However, as the hours went by, no one heard back from her. At first, no one was too worried. Grace was out making memories and living her life after all. But as the day ended and her birthday messages remained unacknowledged, they began to feel concerned. The next day arrived, and Grace was still unreachable. This was something extremely out of character for Grace, which left her friends and family even more worried. After not hearing anything from Grace for 2 days, her family filed a missing persons report with the Auckland police, and an investigation was initiated. Grace's father immediately flew to Auckland to assist the investigation in any way possible. Grace's last known location was the City Life Hotel, which had extensive CCTV footage that enabled the police to solve the case extremely quickly. On December 1st at 5:37 p.m., Grace was captured in clear and color CCTV footage walking out of the hotel alone. She was wearing a black t-shirt dress, white flat lace-up shoes, and a white watch, and carrying a purse. Grace made her way on foot to Sky City, Auckland, an entertainment complex and casino that includes many bars, restaurants, and hotels. At Sky City, Grace was seen on camera walking toward a dining area. She paused, scanned her surroundings, and kept glancing at her phone, appearing to be waiting for someone. At 5:54, a man wearing sneakers, jeans, and a button-up shirt approached Grace. They shared a quick, awkward hug, then walked around Sky City while engaging in casual conversation. The surveillance footage captured them entering a bar named Andy's and getting drinks. Later, around 7:16, they went to a Mexican cafe for more drinks. As time passed, they both seemed to be more at ease with each other, frequently touching each other's arms and finding reasons to make physical contact. At 8:30 p.m., they went to the Blue Stone Room for dinner. During their time there, they shared kisses, talked, and laughed, appearing to have a good time. At 8:56, the man left to use the restroom, but kissed Grace goodbye before he left. Grace hung out on her phone while she waited for him to return, presumably updating her best friend on the evening. When he came back, Grace went into the restroom, leaving her bag with the man. This is when investigators witnessed their first red flag. The man then went into her bag while she was gone before placing it back on her seat as if nothing happened. After this, Grace and the mysterious man left Sky City together with their arms wrapped around each other. They walked back to Grace's hotel and went through the lobby before taking the elevator up to the 3rd floor where Grace was staying. This was the last time Grace was seen on camera. After failing to find any footage of Grace leaving the hotel, the police began to search the footage for the missing man, assuming that he must have left the room at some point. The following morning at 8 a.m., the police noticed the man in the elevator heading downstairs. He was no longer wearing the blue button-up shirt from his date, but instead had on a black undershirt. When he entered the elevator, the man quickly glanced at the camera, then turned away immediately, making sure his back was facing the camera the entire time. Security footage then tracks him leaving the hotel and entering a nearby mall, where he purchased a large suitcase. Footage shows the man rolling the suitcase back to the hotel. He then uses a hotel key to reach the 3rd floor. The next time the man is seen is at 8:32 a.m., again on the elevator going down. This time, he goes to the Countdown Metro, where he purchases cleaning supplies, which he then returns to the hotel. At 10:25, after a little over an hour, the man leaves the hotel again. This time, he is accompanied by others in the elevator. He takes a taxi to a rental car place and rents a red car. Later, he is seen entering the hotel again. Around 4:20, he goes to a bar, orders a drink, and leaves with another woman. Later that night, he is spotted driving the red car to another store, where he rents a carpet cleaner and takes it back to the hotel. At 8:24 p.m., the man wheels the carpet cleaner into the elevator and returns to Grace's floor. At 8:56, he wheels it down and returns it to the store. The next time he goes back up, he takes a baggage trolley with him. At 9:30, he enters the elevator once again. This time, he wheels the trolley into the elevator with him. On it are 2 large suitcases and a sports bag. Police now knew how Grace left the hotel without being seen. The man then loaded the suitcases into the car he rented and went back to the room to spend the night. The next morning, December 3rd, the man can be seen on footage leaving the hotel at 6:14 a.m. and driving his red rental car to a hardware store where he purchases a red shovel. 2.5 hours later, at 9:30 a.m., he is seen returning to the hotel, this time barefoot. He took 2 more bags, dropped clothes off at the dry cleaners, washed the car, and used the shovel at a car wash, leaving the shovel behind. All of this was captured on CTV footage. 2 days later, he was seen discharging the contents of a bag into a bin. He stayed in the same room at the City Life Hotel, paid for by Grace's card. Police were able to identify the man using photos from the footage. On December 6th, while still residing in Grace's room at the City Life Hotel, the man was brought in for questioning. He informed the police that the last time he saw Grace was at 8 p.m. on December 1st. According to him, they had met on Tinder and gone on a date, but ended the evening and said goodbye at 8 p.m. However, the police knew this wasn't true, as surveillance footage showed that he stayed the night. Confronted with this evidence, his lies began to unravel. On December 8th, the police charged the man with Grace's murder. Following the charge, investigators examined his phone, which led them to the location of Grace's body. His GPS history revealed that he had searched the exact spot where he disposed of her body. The following day, on December 9th, 2018, around 4 p.m., Grace's body was discovered. She was found in a suitcase, buried in a shallow grave 12 miles outside of Auckland in a well-known hiking area, a 50-minute drive from the hotel where she had been staying. A year later, the trial for Grace's murder began. Despite extensive camera footage, the man pleaded not guilty. This was the first time the public learned the man's identity, which had previously been withheld to ensure fairness in the case. The man was identified as 26-year-old Jesse Shane Kempson. During the trial, it was revealed that Grace had been murdered by manual strangulation. Jesse's defense argued that this was an accidental death resulting from rough play gone wrong. However, the meticulous efforts he made to clean up and conceal the crime suggested otherwise. During the trial, the jury also heard that as Grace's body lay on the floor of the apartment just moments after her death, Jesse reached for his phone, not to call for help, but to watch disturbing pornography, search for ways to dispose of Grace's body, and take intimate pictures of her. The judge wanted the jury to hear the disturbing information because it proved that Jesse did not go into panic mode at all. Instead, it showed that he was sexually aroused by having Grace's dead body in the apartment. After 5 hours of deliberation, Jesse Kempson was found guilty, and on February 21, 2020, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 17 years. Jesse has attempted to appeal his verdict multiple times, but has not been successful. Grace Milane's story is a heartbreaking example of how quickly life can change. Her story is just one of many that raise critical questions about the safety of dating sites, especially for women, and what more can be done to protect them. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more future content. See you next time.